What's up, everyone? Saturday afternoon. I had some time on my hands. Figured I'd log on. It's been a while since I've done one of these Saturday afternoon kind of impromptu live streams. Crazy 7 weeks. We're 7 weeks away from LegionsCon. Actually, 7 weeks from right now, we're still going to be at the venue. We're still going to be hanging out. We'll be hanging out all day, but the show itself will still be running. So very cool. Really, really excited for that. So I want to talk about it today. I know there's a lot of people that have questions about LegionsCon. I do my best to answer them in the Cabal or on the Instagram page or whatever as much as I can, but that's what today is about. I figured jump on here, answer questions about LegionsCon or other stuff. This is kind of like an AMA. You know, if you have questions, if you have things you want me to talk about, hit me up in the comments. That's what I am here for. I also got a box in this afternoon from Noble Bear Customs. So this is a bunch of products for Legion Shop. So I figured I would crack this open while I'm here on the video. Yep, 7 weeks. It's absolutely nuts. I mean, for us, you know, we start planning the show a year in advance. So, you know, we were planning the show. I'm already planning 2023, you know, so we're already thinking about next year's show and laying the groundwork for some of that stuff. So that tells you kind of what the cycle looks like. So if you're commenting on Facebook, sometimes I can't see who you are. So the person that I just see as Facebook user that says, I just made my first Legion Shop purchase today. Thank you very, very much for that support of Legion Shop. Trust me, all of the artists whose work is featured there greatly appreciate it. But yeah, like I said, you know, we start planning LegionsCon so far in advance that it's a little surreal that it's so close that we're, you know, almost going to be at that point. What time can you pick up LegionsCon passes? Yep, so we will have them available. We're going to have a table at the hotel, like a registration table on Friday night, starting at like 5 o'clock. So set up for exhibitors at the show. It starts at 5. I'm sure there's going to be some people that show up early, but 5 is when we're really telling people to start getting there. G-Con is going to run until 4. So I'll tell you right now that anyone who is either at the studio for G-Con or even just watching G-Con live, that is going to run from 10 in the morning till 4. That will be on Friday, November 4th. As soon as we're done G-Con, we're all going to race over to Secaucus, to the hotel, to set up for LegionsCon. So people that want to pick up their badges that night, there will be a table there. If you've pre-ordered your badge, and by the way, I strongly recommend pre-ordering your badge. We do have a limited amount of tickets we're going to sell for LegionsCon, and we're getting close to that limit. You know, we want to make sure that this thing is not so packed that you can't enjoy yourself. We'd rather sell fewer tickets and have a better time than oversell the venue and it just be unpleasant. So that's an important part of what we're doing here. But that being said, there is a chance that we will not have tickets for sale at the door, or if we do, we're going to have to tell people, if you don't have a badge already, you got to come back around noon or 1 o'clock to get in because we've got too many other people. So if you plan on going, definitely get that badge early. I'll bring up on the screen here where you can do that. www.legionscon.com. All the show information is there. That's where you can get tickets. But when you get your ticket, Eventbrite, they're the ones that are processing the event, the tickets. They'll send you an email with a QR code. If you don't have the email, you know, do a search in your email for Eventbrite. Additionally, if you go to Eventbrite and log in with the email that you used, it should show you your events coming up. But there's a QR code. You're going to want to have that available. What we're going to do is we're going to scan that QR code. Once we scan it, we're going to hand you your badge. Badges don't have names on them or anything like that, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. So this is cool. So this is, I actually showed this crazy. I showed this for the first time last March. So not even this most recent March, last March when we did the ToyCon New Jersey show. I had first showed off this head here, which is this like Arctic Explorer dwarf. This was part of the custom kits that we're going to be doing at Legion Shop, meant specifically to go with this dwarf Legion builder figure. And I've got a few other parts here. So this was something that I actually drew this up. I sketched up this dwarf. Walter DeMarco of Mass Customs, he sculpted it. And then this one was printed, as I told you, Anthony Velez of Noble Bear Customs did this. So that's very, very cool. Okay, let's see what else. Your hair is shiny. No, I just took a shower. I literally just got out of the shower before I did this. How many artists will be at the con? If you go to LegionsCon.com, you can see the full guest list of everyone who's going to be there as an exhibitor. I mean, there are plenty attendees that won't be exhibiting that I'm sure fall under that artist category as well. But if you look at the amount of people there, it's a total of 71 tables. And I'll actually bring that up. So let me bring up LegionsCon. So here's LegionsCon.com. If you go here, if you go to guests, it's the full list. You know, you can scroll through and see this entire list of everybody. But at the top of that section, there's a link right here that says click to download a map of the floor plan. And hold on 1 minute, because that map actually opened in a new window that's not part of the share. So let me, okay. So this is the map of the floor plan at LegionsCon. Zoom out a little bit. So you can see, I've mentioned this before, but when you come in, there's a couple corridors outside. When you come in, and I'll talk about this more in a minute, but these 3 green doors will allow you into the con. This last green door is going to have a separate line to get to the horseman table. These 3 red tables here, numbers 1, 2, and 3, those are the 4 horsemen. Number 4 is the LegionsCon figures. Those will be a separate entrance to really do, crowd control, but you can see everything else here. So it's a total of 71 tables. There are plenty of artists here that have multiple tables. Most of them have only one, but when all said and done, it's something, might be like 60 artists or something like that are going to be there actually exhibiting. Brian said, I've pre-ordered, I'm ready. On top of it, that's what I love to see. Thank you very much, ma'am. Jeff saying, I got my tickets. How far is Newark Airport from the venue? I don't know. It's not far. I think it might even say it on the website. I think I wrote that down. Let's see. Venue. 13 miles from Newark Airport. So the venue is 13 miles from Newark Airport in New Jersey, 22 miles from JFK. So there you go. Mindless focus. Do we know the times, Brent? What times do you mean specifically? The times the show is open, that's been posted for quite a while. It is open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Sunday. So those are the show times. So this is another piece that goes with this guy here. Again, this is part of these custom kits. If you saw a while ago, I posted a custom kit that was called the Soldier of Ra. that was like an Egyptian style warrior. The idea with these is these are meant to go on deluxe Legion builders. So you get a deluxe Legion builder, you get the kits. We're going to sell them together. We will eventually sell all the parts separately too, but to start, we'll sell the figure with an unpainted kit, and we're going to have some that are a figure with a painted kit, which is basically like buying a full custom. But this is another piece that goes to that kit. These are some like dwarven style snowshoes. These were very much based. One of my favorite G.I. Joes as a kid was Snow Serpent, who had the snowshoes. I loved Snow Serpent. So I just dug the idea of doing some snowshoes for a dwarf. So that's what you can see. This guy, they go right on, they plug right into the feet. He's got some awesome snowshoes there. Very cool. So the kit's going to be the head, the snowshoes, and one more piece, which I would imagine is in this third box. T says, ticket and flights all queued up. Can't wait for this experience. Very, very cool. I'm super excited for everyone to get this experience. We work really hard at this. I mean, look, I've said it the whole time. I'm the biggest Legions fan you're going to find. This is the con I want to go to. You know, that's how I approach everything that I get to do for this brand and this company. You know, the website that I manage and work on, that's the website I want as a fan. This is the con that both my partner Joe Viteri and I, you know, we want. This is the show we want to go to. So that's how we program it. You know, I'm super excited. Obviously this is the biggest LegionsCon we've done, but it's the biggest Legions gathering. You know, we did PowerCon, you know, a few weeks ago, and it was a blast. Amazing show. But it's a tiny fraction of the amount of Legions content that we're going to have. Now, obviously, a show like that isn't trying to be LegionsCon. They're doing their own thing. They've got, you know, a bunch of other companies and stuff there. LegionsCon is focused on Legions and the Legions community. So that's pretty awesome. Last piece here, these dwarven ice pick axes. So again, I wanted him to have, because he's an Arctic explorer, I actually had looked up, I drew these as well for Walter DeMarco. You know, I kind of drew up like an ice pick and then added the axe blade onto it. So I thought that was pretty cool too. A nice addition to have the dwarf using that kind of a weapon. And again, we will have these available both painted and unpainted with the figures. And then eventually we'll have all the parts available separately as well. Very, very cool. Super psyched that Anthony sent me that. He sent me something else too that I don't. Here it is. I know there's something else in those boxes because he told me he was sending another prototype piece. Okay, let's see. I won't be there, unfortunately. Sorry. Hopefully next year. Curtis saying, oh, sweet. I remember you showing the snowshoe idea a while back. Yeah, finally getting that out. Let's see. Will I be selling any painted pieces at LegionsCon? Will I be able to leave the con for food and come back in? So 2 questions. Number 1, yes. I will be selling a number of actually full customs there. So not only will I be selling some full customs, I'm selling more full customs at LegionsCon than I have ever sold in one place at one time. I've got some brand new pieces that I'm bringing, and I've got some old pieces that I pulled from my collection specifically to package up, bring to LegionsCon for sale. So it's a nice mix of different pieces across, I guess, my career as a customizer, if you want to put it that way. So I will have a ton of that. Additionally, there will be at the Legions shop table. And by the way, I should say, I'm going to have Mythic Customs is going to have a table. I'm not selling at that table. My table this year is very much focused on display. And I have a very specific display I'm doing. I'm not ready to reveal that just yet, but I'm treating this very, very much more like a museum type exhibition, where rather than just bring a bunch of random pieces, I wanted to bring very specific things to show at the Mythic Customs table. Now, Additionally, I will also have a bunch of my work on exhibit at the Wolf King Customs table and at the Legion shop table. So you'll be able to see my work across this con. As far as stuff for sale at the Legion shop table, that is where my full customs will be. At this point, I think I might have somewhere between like 10 and 14 full customs for sale, range of prices. I think the cheapest one might be like $100. The most expensive one's probably a few $100s because it's a bigger piece. But definitely check that out. And if you follow me on Instagram, I've been sharing those repeatedly, like which ones I'm bringing. Additionally, there'll be heads and stuff like that that I painted on the Legion shop table, as well as a lot of stuff painted by other artists. Question number 2, can you leave and get food? 100%. You're going to have your badge. So as long as you have your badge with you, you can come in and out as you want. Let me bring back up this map here. And I see questions coming in. That's great. That's the point of this. I'm going to get to those in a minute. So again, this is the map of the event. When you come in, there's going to be 2 corridors. There's going to be the main corridor, which comes out right onto these doors. These green doors at the bottom, these green blocks, those are doorways. So you're going to be able to go into any of those 3 doors to get into the con itself. The last door will be kind of blocked off because we're going to snake people around to get to that one a different way. This is the main corridor. Before you get to this corridor, basically, if you were right out to the edge over here, there's a second corridor that we're calling the Kingdoms of Mythos corridor. That is because that is where all the breakout rooms are. And the breakout rooms are all themed after the heroic kingdoms of Mythos. So there's an Etheros room, there's a Leandor room, a Xylernia, and an Ophidion. All of those rooms, actually, what's interesting is a couple of those rooms, if you go in to one side to the other corridor and you walk through the room, you come out into the main corridor. So everything is connected. Everything is right around each other. We've got this giant section of the venue. People are going to be going from the main ballroom into the hallway to hang out, into the breakout rooms, around the corner, people in the lobby. People are going to be all over the place. That's totally cool. We actually at one point wanted to bring in food trucks for food, and we were told we are not allowed to do that. It is actually against their fire code, against their insurance, so we cannot have food trucks there. Kind of stinks. However, right across the street, like literally right across the street, there is a plaza that's got a bonefish grill, which is, I think, where a lot of people are probably going to chill at night for hanging out and drinks and stuff. But there's also like a Jersey Mike sub. There's a Panera Bread. I think there's a Starbucks. There's like a bunch of restaurants. And that's just right across the street, right where you can walk. If you take a car down the road a minute, there's a bunch of other stuff as well. Definitely do a Google map search before you come so you can see where everything is. But we actually asked the venue when they said, no, you can't do a food truck. We said, look, we're going to have a lot of people. What are we supposed to do for food? And what do other events that come here do for food? And they said, not a big deal. Right across the street, there are like 4 or 5 restaurants. Super easy to get over there and grab that stuff. So absolutely, that's why we're releasing the schedules early. If you go to LegionsCon.com, we've got the full schedule of breakout sessions so people can plan what they're going to do, when they're going to be at the show, when they're going to leave. Okay, let's see what else. Yes, Jeff, the raw kit is for the Gladiator. That has not come out yet because street date for retailers on the Deluxe Legion Builders is sometime next month. We are not releasing that stuff yet. We'll probably release it a little bit before that, and we'll probably have some at LegionsCon as well. Will vendors like Legion Shop and Wolf King Customs be taking credit cards at LegionsCon? So LegionsCon will take credit cards for like the LegionsCon figures, but Legion Shop will not be taking credit cards. Most small vendors are probably going to be doing cash only. I can't speak for everybody. That's totally up to them. I don't know what Wolf King is going to do. I know Legion Shop will be cash. Will evergreen be happening again? So we haven't used the word evergreen in a very long time. The idea of, hey, we always have Legion builders in stock at Store Horseman, realistically, that's never going to work because there's a demand for stuff, right? And stuff sells out. We're not making to demand, in the window of time to make this stuff is wide enough that always in stock is never, it's just not going to work. So we moved away from evergreen. We moved away from always in stock. We started calling them reinforcements. If you're asking me if reinforcements will happen again, that's one of those things that I cannot reveal. What I can say is we know they're popular. We know fans want them, and we tend to listen to fans. So read into that what you want. Let's see. So Friday, November 4th will be the Four Horsemen Necronominus stream. When does it begin? That has not been announced yet, but I can tell you because it's not a big secret. 10 o'clock. Actually, you know what I did actually just tell you? 10 to 4. So 10 o'clock live from Four Horsemen Studios. We will be broadcasting G-Con Necronominus. Now, we actually do have a whole list of what's going on for Mythic Weekend and all that. That post is going to be up probably sometime after next week or so. Once we get into October, we're really going to be promoting, everything that's coming on. But yeah, that next wave, Necronominus, anyone that's been around for a while, they know the process. They know that we do a G-Con, show. It's a 6-hour show. We'll be talking to friends, members of the studio, fans, lots and lots of people. We'll have a live studio audience at Four Horsemen Studios to do it. And throughout that 6 hours, we will be revealing the new wave. At the end of that reveal period, that pre-order will go live on storehorseman.com. Maverick, am I going to let old man Kyle tell me how to run the 10-year anniversary like at PowerCon? We will see. He was somewhat ashamed of his actions, but I wouldn't put it past him wanting to do it again. The good thing is Kyle had some very good ideas that were in line with what we were thinking anyway, so I'll let him slide on that. Nope, Curtis, she's not coming. Is Jersey Mike's good in Jersey? Not my favorite sandwich place, but yes, Peter. Will there be separate lines for the Four Horsemen and LegionsCon since the tables are next to each other? So not really. You're going to have to go into one to get into the other. I mean, the thing that I've been telling people is if you're worried about the LegionsCon figures selling out, don't be. We have enough at the show that the number of attendees, they're limited to 2 per person. Okay, so you come up with your badge. The badges actually have little kind of, at the bottom it says Saturday and Sunday. So when you come up on Saturday is the figure is a Daith the Unknown one. If you come up and you're like, we're going to say, would you like 1? Would you like 2? Whatever you want, we're going to stamp your little, your little badge there, so we know you got them. We'll take your money, cash or card, and then you'll be there. So we're not going to sell out. We have enough to meet the demand of that room. We're not going to sell out. If you're there early, like if you walk in with half an hour left to go on the show, yeah, I may be out because I don't want to take any with me. So I may be out by that point. But don't feel like you've got to get in that line first. The reason we positioned it the way we did is we know a lot of people want to hit the Four Horsemen table. There will be things that sell out on the Four Horsemen table because there's definitely a lot of older stuff that's coming to the show. Nothing crazy. There's no Othos. There's no crazy old stuff. But there are some other things that we know are limited to a case or so. Those will certainly sell out. So if you get through the Horseman table, right after that, you can go to the LegionsCon table. Cool thing I'll show you. So in addition to having the figures at the LegionsCon table, we're going to have some other show exclusive goodies, including, check this out. So this is one of the prints. I just mentioned the Daith the Unknown one. This is a print of the show specific artwork that Nate Barch did for this character. So one of the super cool things, this is going to appear on the package. So this is one of the first, actually, I think it's the first time, other than Krampus, that we've done a figure. The Horsemen have done a figure that has figure-specific packaging on it, like art on it. There are figures like, for instance, the Deluxe Legion Builders. If you flip that over, it shows the Barbarian. That wasn't made just for the Barbarian. That's art that was made for that entire wave. This was made specifically for a Daith. This artwork is not going to appear on the single carded standard edition. So very, very cool that this is at the show. You're going to see this all over the show on banners, on badges. If you saw the picture I posted the other day of the exhibitor badges, this is what's on the exhibitor badges, and we will have a limited run of prints for this piece here. It's got the little LegionsCon logo at the bottom. It's a nice 12 by 12, so it looks awesome framed. Of course, we have not shown the other piece of artwork yet for the Furious 4, but there is a companion piece to this. They're going to be on sale at the event. They're going to be $20 a print, or if you want both of them, it'll be $35 for the set of two. So that's super cool. Is G-Con always going to be a mythic reveal, or could it be a cosmic one day? It certainly could. I mean, who knows? It's not. We've never said it's always going to be mythic. We are on a trajectory right now with this, Rise of the Dark Four kind of storyline. But who knows what the future could hold. Mark saying, what's the usual time for being in the line? I mean, the Horseman line takes a little while to get through. There's going to be a fair number of people, and people tend to buy a lot, So when someone comes up to the front and they've got 30 figures in hand, it takes a little while to check them out. So we try to get people through as quickly as possible. That's why we have two separate entrances. So the decision everyone has to make is, do you want to get into the con and see literally everything except for the Horseman table and the LegionsCon stuff? Do you want to get in and do all that other stuff? Or do you want to wait in that Horseman line first? That's a decision everyone has to make. On Saturday, we don't start the breakout sessions until 12 noon. So that's 3 hours after the doors open. We did that for a reason, so people, again, they can plan out their day. What we want you to be able to do is look across this whole weekend and say, okay, I know that doors open at 9. I'm going to do this. I'm going to spend this much time here. Then I'm going to see these breakout sessions. I got a little window here. I'm going to grab something to eat. I'm going to do this. Plan your day. Plan your weekend. I don't know how long the line's going to be, but like I said, they do tend to get a little long. Let's see. I know Full Horsemen do a purchase limit for figures. Usually whenever we do a purchase limit, it's 1 per person. That is traditionally what we do. The 2 per person was for the LegionsCon figures. Door Clear, I'm full excited for LegionsCon. I'm in full money-saving mode right now till November. Not a bad idea at all. Kurt is saying we're going to need some Full Horseman money clips to hold the wads of cash we'll be bringing. Am I open to taking selfies? Maverick says I will happily take pictures with anyone that is so inclined. I have no problem with that. Yeah, Brent saying, I really love that you design custom pieces for the upcoming reinforcements and Legion builders. Yeah, I just thought that was a cool idea. I mean, I've always loved the idea of kits. My first custom piece I ever did, as you all know, probably was the Kitsune Fox. And, I specifically did the hooded version to go with the Elf Ranger. And, that's what we showed when that was the first piece Wolf King Customs ever did. By the way, congratulations to Wolf King Customs. They, made a big announcement recently that they're going to be changing their business model to in stock and always open. That's super, super cool. They actually have a sale coming up at 3 o'clock today. My stuff specifically, this cool rock drake head, that's going to be available. And also this leprechaun guy that I did. Those parts are available. A bunch of painted pieces from my friend Curtis Ackerman, Stephen Bisciotti, Emil Wickman, obviously Walter DeMarco, Len LaGuardia, all going to have stuff in the sale. So check those out. It actually starts at 3 o'clock, but when they open the doors at 3, they're going to be open pretty much perpetually now with in-stock items. So congratulations for all of Team Wolf King in that success. But back to the, these type of kit ideas. Yeah, I've always liked that idea. So, giving people something that they're like, hey, I've got all the pieces, I can put it together almost like a model, whether they want to paint parts of it, whether they want to just buy the painted pieces. I thought that was a cool idea. It was actually Joe Vitteri's idea. Joe came to me and said, hey, what do you think about doing that? And it just all worked out that the Deluxe Legion builders were what was being solicited at the time. So it made a lot of sense. Ever thought of selling the art as cloth posters? I know there's a cloth version of the map that's part of the Kickstarter game campaign. We haven't thought about it. Maybe for the future. A Daith may be my favorite figure. Yeah, that one was designed by Bill Mancuso. It's funny to talk to him about it because if you checked him out on my Mythic Conversation show, he talked about putting that together during COVID. He was hanging out at the studio doing some organizing, kind of putting parts together, and he built a Daith at that time. The wings on a Daith, he used the prototype wings that were in the studio because that part didn't even exist yet. That's kind of one of the reasons why a Daith has no new parts on him. He uses all very old parts because it was literally put together like 3 years ago or something. So very cool. That has lived in Chris's office for quite some time. So it's great that it's actually getting to see the light of day now. Can't lie, I'm so excited. This is better than Disney World. Can't wait for intern day. I want to see you play that mandolin. I don't play the mandolin really well. I mentioned this before. I bought the mandolin hoping I could restring it to be like a ukulele because I do play that. I do play the ukulele, but the ukulele is tuned very differently than a mandolin. So I wanted to see if I could play like that banjo up there. That's a banjolele. So you can play all ukulele chords on it and it sounds like a banjo. I wanted to do the same thing with the mandolin, but it just wouldn't tune accordingly. So there you go, little playing. Elf Rangers on my short list of figures to get my hands on. I think my favorite full kit has been the Baron Volliger Sentry kit. Yeah, I love that as well. We actually just got in some more of those vampire robes from Strupp Family Crafts. That's very, very cool. Will Four Horsemen be hosting a panel at the event? We will not, because the breakout rooms at the event are very small, like 25, 35 people, 40 people, whatever. So to do a Four Horsemen breakout room just at this venue didn't make a lot of sense. Besides, the way we kind of figured it out, the way we've always said it is, G-Con is all about the studio. LegionsCon is all about the community. So G-Con is the day before. It's 6 hours. You're going to listen to us present for 6 hours at G-Con. There's nothing that we would have left to say at LegionsCon the following weekend. I will tell you that all of the figures we debut that we show off at GCon will be coming to LegionsCon. So if you saw the pictures from PowerCon with the gigantic diorama that Brian Almeida did for us, that is making the trip to LegionsCon. That will be set up with a whole new array of figures, and it won't be the same group that we set up at PowerCon because we got to make room. At PowerCon, the new figures were All-Stars 5 Plus, so they were all in there. At LegionsCon, the new figures will be Necronominus. They will be in that case. There'll be other stuff as well, but you'll be able to actually get eyeballs on those new figures. This is your first year as a full-time member of the studio, so you'll be at the show as a member of the studio, a customizer, a fan. I'm going to be at the event as all of those things, as well as the promoter of the event itself. I'm doing quadruple duty at the event. I mean, I'm there. There is a Mythic Customs table. There is a Legion Shop table. I will not be running the Legion Shop table, and I will probably be bouncing from the Legion Shop table and my table are back to back, so they share the space behind them intentionally. I'll be bouncing from there to the Horseman table, to the LegionsCon table. I'll be all over the place literally all weekend. Yes, Bard Gerard. Actually, if you saw the super funny picture that Emil drew recently of Team Wolf King, he made me a thief bard in that. So basically, I'm the kind of person that entertains you and then steals your money, which is actually very accurate for what I do for a living. I need to sing a parody with Pete and Jeremy. Ooh, that might be bad. Okay. Mr. Allen, I will listen to that. So what else do we want to talk about here? Oh, I do have something else to show. What should I do? There you go. Oh, I'm going to put that down now. Yes, I would love an actual Bard figure. So the other thing that he sent me, if you know Legion Shop, you know that we have carried a piece called the Ogre Knot. So it's like a big, Juggernaut, Ram Man style kind of piece that goes on any of the Mythic Legion's Ogre figures, right? We also do a scaled down version called the Jugger Dwarf. So the Ogre Knot's got more of like an ogre face. The Jugger Dwarf has a beard. It's a dwarf. The Jugger Dwarf was made to go on a 1.0 dwarf body. The Ogre Knot was made to go on an ogre. Well, we recently said, hey, let's flip those. So let's do the Ogre Knot at 1.0 scale to go with like an orc. And let's do the Jugger Dwarf at ogre scale, because speaking of kits, this isn't a full kit, but the half giant Legion builder is going to be coming out soon. That's one of the pieces that they're still waiting on at the studio, right? But we figured once that comes out, people might want to do something like this, because the ogre look might not be great on, the flesh tone body. So this is a way that they can actually use that new, and this is a Balthar the Tower, but it's a very similar type flesh color. But we figured that might be cool to use this type of piece actually on that figure. These were sculpted by Jeremy Wilson, Monster Machine Creations, and printed by Noble Bear Customs. So I think these are going to actually make their debut at LegionsCon. So very, very cool. Very excited about that. This is actually the first piece that he printed, the first example of it. Really cool. I like that. I dig that. That looks good. That one was sent to me as a sample, and I think it looks great. I should record the intro to Mythic Conversations. Unfortunately, I don't really have any recording equipment. It's been years since I played actually in a band and had access to that stuff. So, come on, putting this back together. Yes, Eric, the rest of the Gerard clan will be at LegionsCon running the Legions shop table. So that's very, very cool. Yes, Emil did great with that art. Yeah, it's so much fun. Mekareka, not a con-related question, but what are the chances we see an Alithia in-stock sale before the end of the year? I would say very, very, very slim. I would not expect an in-stock sale this year. I've said this before, but realistically, in-stock sales, two things need to happen. One, we generally don't like to do an in-stock sale when we have an actual pre-order running, okay? Two, the shipping team needs to not be focused on shipping pre-orders if we're going to ship an in-stock sale. So, as you know, they are hard at work right now on the Alithia wave. All of the Alithia all-ins went out. There a lot of the Alithia single orders, or the orders I should not single, but the orders that didn't have all-ins, they have gone out, and that process continues. There's probably a few more weeks of them getting all of those Alithia orders out, and then they're going to go right back to Deluxe Legion Builders. Hopefully by that point, the Deluxe Legion Builder all-ins will be in. All-ins, once again, super easy. The reason they do all-ins that are pre-boxed is they just slap labels right on them. They don't have to spend time picking and packing. Slap labels, get them out. So as soon as those Deluxe Legion Builder all-ins arrive, they're on the way. And then the half giant and the accessory pack, once those are in, all of the orders that include those will go out as well. So the moral of the story is there's a lot of shipping to do between Deluxe Legion Builders and Alithia. And then before you know it, we're going to be staring down that Necronominus pre-order. So finding a place where we could sneak in an Alithia all-in, I can't say it won't happen in 2022, but I do not expect that it will. Definitely picking up the Ogrenut kit at LegionsCon for one of my many half giants. Thank you very much, Eric. Appreciate it. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Peter, Alithia Wave at RetroCon. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to say what we will have at shows for the very specific reason of if we say something's going to be there, and even if it sells out and someone arrives, there's that level of disappointment that, well, you said it's going to be here, and it was, you just missed it. We'd rather just not go there. We would rather just say, you know what? If you want to see what's going to be there, you got to show up. That's the way it is. What we've been trying to do at shows, what we did at PowerCon, what we're going to continue doing at shows is, the fans who are outside in line, they get to the table first. It's always a challenge because there are dealers in the building who want to hit the table and buy stuff. Fully cognizant that a lot of those dealers are genuine fans and they want them for themselves. But unfortunately, you got to make a rule at some point, and we see too many fans travel distances to come to shows like LegionsCon, wait in line for hours, and then when they get to the table, there's a line of 20 vendors in front of them. We can't have that. So the rule at PowerCon, the rule actually at last year's ToyCon, the rule that we've been doing is if you are first in line outside, that is going to be the start of the line. So if we tell vendors, if you want to be at the Horseman table, get a proxy out there in line for you. Wait in that line outside the doors because that's the only way to get to that table. I brought me and my wife a ticket to LegionsCon, but I will be able to pick up both of our badges on Friday, or she'll have to come and get it. As long as you have the barcode, you're fine. Like if you come up, so say that you buy tickets for you and 3 of your family members. It's all the barcodes, right? You're going to come up, you're going to scan that, and I'm going to say, oh, you got 4 badges. Here's your 4 badges. I don't need to see 4 people. You bought 4, here's your 4 badges. So that's absolutely fine. I will say this. If you come up to the LegionsCon figure table and you've got 4 badges and you're like, I got 4 badges here, I want to buy a total of 8 figures, we're going to say no. 2. You can get, if you got 2 badges, we'll sell you enough figures for 2 badges, but that's the limit. We're not going above that. So that's, again, we want everyone to have access to these. We're doing 2 per person. And again, they're going to be, the standard editions will be available after the fact. Hopefully 2 of each is enough for people to actually get what they want and allow everybody to get what they want, or everyone that's at the con. Have I considered doing a monk? I just lost that comment. Where is it? Using a Lithia as a base and maybe a head like Lucretia. I have not. I did a whole group of monks that I call the Order of the Stone Lotus, and I have not done a female. I did use the Lucretia head. I painted it blue and used it as a female djinn, but that's actually a really cool idea because that Lithia, it's got that like wrapped kind of torso. That would work really cool as a female monk. So I'll have to consider that. Brian, yes, 4 Horsemen Studios will be at ToyCon on October 16th. We're actually going to do something a little bit different at that show. And bear with me a moment, because I don't know if I announced this yet. If I announced what we're doing, I will tell you right now. I have already announced this. Okay, then I can tell you. So let me bring this page up here. So this is actually on sourcehorseman.com. It says right here, this is a news article I'll show you. So if you go to the website here, this first new studio plans for 2022, says right here, we will be at ToyCon. So the Horseman table, because ToyCon New Jersey in October is only a few weeks before LegionsCon, it didn't make a lot of sense to do the same kind of display, the same kind of sales push at both of them. So what we're going to do at this show is we have a selection of product that we have at the studio that we call scratch and dent items. So these are things that are a range of different kinds of items. No, again, nothing super old. They're all for more current waves, like All Stars waves, Aerotheer wave, things like even the waves that we're currently shipping now. A lot of them are totally fine. So something like, for instance, say you have a bronze dwarf and in the package, his gold antlers, one of them's bent a little bit. That's something that if we see that, we try not to ship that to somebody, because that's the kind of thing where if they get it and they're like, oh, this isn't perfect, a lot of our fans are just like, oh, it's fine. I'm going to pull them off and customize them anyway, or it's fine. I don't care. But we know that some people, maybe they're a mint in package and it doesn't look right to them. We try not to send anything like that. There are others that have more serious things like, I don't know, 2 left hands. Or I opened an Aethon the other day that had 2 of the same horn. Well, guess what? I was customizing it and wasn't using those anyway, so it didn't matter to me. All of those things are put aside separately. That is what is coming to ToyCon. It is going to be a scratch and dent sale, but they're all going to be regular prices. We're not discounting these things because a lot of them are in fine shape and we know fans want them. So rather than send them out to fans and not be sure if they're going to want that one or not, this will allow you to pick it up and actually see it before you buy it, but it will be regular prices. Now, obviously, regular prices for something like Aethon is way cheaper than what the secondary market is charging right now. So you're still getting kind of a deal that way. There may be also a couple other things at the show that are newer or, different or something. I don't know. But that is primarily what we're going to do at that particular show. Oh yes, the team they're working very very hard to get everything out. That rule in PowerCon regarding vendors was awesome. Yeah, dude, I mean, look, I felt bad turning people away because I get that it's easy to hate on vendors and say like, oh, they just want to bring it to their table and mark it up. That's not everybody's story. And I realize that. There's a lot of people there that they're like, I want one for me. But like I said, at some point you've got to put that because I can't make them take a quiz, right? I can't like make them take like a Mythic Legions quiz to see if they're a true fan or not. And if they're not, I'm like, well, you're probably just scalping this. So no, you don't get to buy it. I can't do that. That's ridiculous. So you got to make the rule that says, look, if you're in the room, if you're a vendor, it's great. I'd love to sell to you. You got to get in line like everybody else outside. That's the rule. The line's there for a reason. Yes, I am. You talked to me at Intern for a Day in 2018. That was my first visit ever to the studio. Now I get to work for them. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely a dream. It's awesome, awesome to do. I spent a couple days in the studio this week. A lot of the strategic work we were doing, a lot of the creative work we were doing was blows me away. It's incredible. Um, I worked hard to get here, so I'm happy that I get to do this. Yeah, and Jeff, and a lot of the stuff, don't mistake, a lot of the stuff that's going to be scratch and dent at ToyCon will also be available at LegionsCon as well. You know, I mentioned Athon. I know there's some scratch and dents Athons in that pile because I literally just grabbed one. But I also know that should be bringing Athon. Should be bringing Athon to LegionsCon as well. LegionsCon will have a lot of product, and it's one of the reasons, like, it's interesting because I know we have fans worldwide, never mind nationwide. And a lot of times people say things like, oh, why don't you come out and do an event? Why don't you do LegionsCon in Texas or California, right? Got a ton of fans in California. My friend Walter Hagen of the Cabal, he is in California. I'd love to go out and do a big show in California. Logistically, we can't do it the way we do LegionsCon. We just can't. The fact that LegionsCon, the venue, is 20 minutes from the studio, that is unique. Even when we did PowerCon in Ohio, it was 8 hours away. We drove there, right? California, we're not driving. But we drove and brought all the product to PowerCon. We were blown away by the fan reaction and demand. We could have probably brought twice as much product, 3 times as much product, and still not met that demand. We sold out on Friday in just over 2 hours, everything we had allocated for the table for that day. I'm not just talking the PowerCon debut figures. Everything on the table sold out in just over 2 hours. It took us 2 hours to sell out on Saturday and about 50 minutes on Sunday to sell everything we had. We could have brought a lot more, but we had to make a decision on what to bring, on how much to bring. We rented a truck, and once we got there and realized we need more product, it was not feasible to do another 8-hour drive. At LegionsCon, the fact that we're 20 minutes from the studio, if we realize that we need more inventory of something, and we actually have it, because we don't have inventory of everything. I mentioned there's going to be some things that sell out, and once they're gone, they're gone. But there are other things that we certainly may have extras of in the studio where one of the team members can, jump in the RV and make the drive back to, Little Falls and restock and bring that back. So that is an advantage, or even just bringing more stuff in on Sunday. Even if we sell more on Saturday, if we dip into the Sunday stock, we can go and get more stock from the studio. So being in New Jersey, being local to where we all are, that really makes a lot of sense. Additionally, it's really cool that the entire studio goes. So it's not just like the show team that you're going to get to see. In addition to the, Jim, Cornboy, and Eric, the owners and founders of the company, you're also going to get, Sherry and Cameron. the incredible painters that don't get out to a lot of distant shows. Joe Vassapolo will be there. Chris Gorch will be there. George will be there. Bill Mancuso. The entire group. Of course, I'm going to be there. We're all going to be at the show. I mean, hell, even all of the shipping team is going to be there enjoying the show. So that's cool. And if we were in California, the odds of getting the entire studio out there, a little bit harder, a lot harder, a little bit different. So, Brian, great question. At LegionsCon, will room selling be okay to do? At some cons, they have a bulletin board where people can post these sales. Will you have anything like that? I will not have anything like that. If people want to sell stuff out of their rooms, I can't stop them, but I'm not going to encourage it or promote it. And there's a couple reasons. Number one, all the vendors that are set up paid to be there, you know, and I get people that have a room paid for that room as well, but the vendors probably have a room too. So I want to promote the people, the exhibitors that are there that paid to be part of this. I want them to have a great show so they come back next year and tell more people and we get to grow the show. If people don't have to make that investment and they can just sell out of their room, that impacts what we do. So I'm not promoting it. The other reason is I don't know who any of these people are. Everybody who's exhibiting, I know they've been vetted. I know they've got quality stuff. I know they're an honest person. They belong there. Someone just selling out of their room, I don't know who they are. The one thing I will not allow is there is a kind of like catch-all breakout room that is just going to be open for Legionnaires to hang out and do what they want all weekend. There will be no selling in that room. And when I say no selling, if you do a trade or something, I don't care about that. There was no setting up. I don't want to see anybody in there that like actually puts a display out with a bunch of prices and starts selling as a way of getting around, getting a table at the show. That is not cool, and they will be asked to stop. Yeah, setup night, Eric. I'm probably most excited for setup night. Again, that was one of the biggest problems last year is that because we only did a Sunday show, we had to get into the room at like 7 o'clock in the morning. Doors opened at 7. All of us were scrambling to get stuff done. And by the time the show started, we were all so tired from setup, running our own tables that most of us didn't get a chance to mingle and walk around and see other artists' stuff. So Friday night, you know, the fact that we're all going to be there, got a lot more time to set up. It's going to be more relaxed. We're going to be able to see each other. I said this, Eric, I know what's going to happen is people are going to finish their table setup and they're going to be walking around, not only looking at stuff, but being like, do you need help? Do you need help? Let me help you with this. Let me help you with that. This community is insane good. In the community of customizers, it's like a community within a community. You think the community as a whole is incredibly welcoming and supportive. That inside community is even more so. So it's going to warm my heart to see people working with each other like that. Yes, street teams are absolutely an option for West Coast shows. We've got 2 street team events happening this coming week. Nate Barch is going to be at FanX Salt Lake City. That's like the Salt Lake City Comic Convention. That is this coming Thursday through Saturday. The Legion's Lair guys, they are going to be at Game On Cleveland. I think that's what it's called. Game On Cleveland. That is obviously in Cleveland, Ohio. That is next Saturday, the 24th. And then the studio team, not including myself, I won't be there, but the studio team is going to be at RetroCon down a little bit outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So those are 2 street teams events that we have this week. We're seeing how they go. We're figuring things out to see what the potential looks like for next year. But I absolutely expect that we are going to expand on the street team idea. We call them Legionnaire-led events, and getting those out in California, totally open to that. Do I plan to customize plunderlings? I have an idea for one. It's just finding enough time to do it. Kirby, we have stuff in mind. Gotta get there to say. Yeah, Lone Wolf. It's gonna be tiring but fun. Am I working on a Four Horsemen book? Is that what the 100 was for? Yes and yes. So there is been some not so subtle hints at the upcoming book, or the book that we are working on. Yesterday, if you look at sourcehorseman.com, we posted yesterday a lore of mythos article about the Castle Silverhorn, and in that, we've done it a few times. We reference like a historical volume or whatever. There is a book being worked on, and yes, when I posted that cryptic 100, that was page 100. I had hit page 100 in that book, so that's what that was. But with that, it is 2:42. I've been on here for what? Just let's see. I got a timer right here. Just over an hour. So I'm going to call it a day. Thank you very much for hanging out. I'll do this again in the lead up to LegionsCon to answer some more questions. But of course, if you do have any questions about the show, www.legionscon.com. Really, we try to make it so all of your answers can be found there. Full list of the times, full list of the exhibitors that are going to be there. Obviously, the show version figures that are going to be there are pictured on the site as well. And if you haven't bought your tickets yet, there are links to buy your tickets there. Again, I do encourage you to do that. The sellout point is in sight. We definitely are looking there. And as we get closer and closer, more and more people that weren't sure if they were going to make it, now that they're realizing, oh, I am going to come, they are buying their tickets. So don't be left out. If you're going to be there, get those tickets early. Thank you all very much. I'll actually be back this coming Wednesday for Mythic Conversations. Not sure what the conversation will be yet, but I will be there. And of course, I'll see you all at LegionsCon. Thank you guys. Have a good day.